Hey guys, welcome back. So in this today's session we are going to see about the stop and wait ARQ. So what is the meaning of ARQ is automatic repeat request. We will see that what is automatic repeat request. So in the previous class we have explained the what is the stop and wait protocol. So then what are the limitations of the stop and wait protocol. So let me explain one more time quickly. So here when sender sends the data for the first frame, it will wait for the acknowledgement, right? So acknowledgement for what? Frame 1. The moment it receives the acknowledgement, it will send the one more frame from the sender to the receiver. Now what is the problem here is in between sender to receiver, something if data is lost, what receiver will think that, so the data which is not received from the sender, so it will wait for the infinite of the time period. Now sender is already sent one data frame. If it is want to send the one more data frame, it should get the acknowledgement back to the sender side. Now what receiver? The receiver cannot send the acknowledgement, right? Because it does not receive the any frame. So it will wait for the infinite of the time period. It will also wait for the infinite of the time period. So this is the one of the problem. The another problem is something if acknowledgement is lost, what will be happen? Suppose the data frame is successfully sent from the sender to the receiver. Now what is the duty of the receiver is that receiver will send the acknowledgement back to the sender side. So due to somehow that acknowledgement frame is lost from the receiver to the sender side. Now what sender will think is that it does not receive any acknowledgement, so it cannot able to send the one more frame. Now what receiver will think that I have sent the acknowledgement, but sender didn't send any new frame for receiving. So this is one kind of the limitation with the stop and wait protocol. It means that after sending the first frame, it is waiting for the infinite of the time period. It is also waiting for the infinite amount of the time period. It means that no further communication process will be done between the sender and receiver. Now why? The major problem, if you understand this one, the waiting of the infinite time period. So both sender or receiver waiting for the infinite time period. Now somehow if you stop occurring of this or waiting for infinite of the time period, then we can able to send the frames from the sender side to the receiver effectively using the stop and wait protocol, right? So what is the next protocol is the advancement of the stop and wait protocol is the stop and wait automatic repeat request. So what is the stop and wait ARQ protocol is that it is also stop and wait protocol only. Additionally here we will be having something called as the timeout timer. So what is the meaning of this one is that, so here it is waiting for the infinite of the time period in case of the stop and wait protocol. So in this case automatic repeat request stop and wait ARQ, it will not wait for the infinite of the time period. So here only we will be having the particular time period. Once the time period is completed, then again the same frame will be retransmitted back. Now what is the meaning of stop and wait ARQ? Stop and wait protocol plus we will be having the additional mechanism is the timeout tower. It means that before sending the frame itself, we are going to enable the timer. Let it be the timer will valid for the 60 seconds. Once 60 seconds is completed, so it assumes that the sender will is assume that if acknowledgement is not received within the 60 seconds, it will retransmit the same frame again. So instead of waiting for the infinite of the time period, first we are setting the timeout timer. Once 60 seconds is completed, just here the 60 seconds is some example. You can set timeout timer for the any number of seconds, right? Now see that for example here I have set the timer for the 60 seconds. Now what I am going to do is within the timer starts, I am going to send the first frame 1. Now if I am receiving the acknowledgement within timeout expiry, so acknowledgement from the frame 1 is received. Now means within the given period of the time period, both frame is sent, acknowledgement is received. Now what we are going to do is we are going to activate the one more timer. Now assume that are we going to send the same frame 1 or we are going to send the new frame? Just try to understand and tell me the answer. Yes, the answer is that frame 1 is successfully sent as well as the receiver. Now what it will do means it will send the one more frame, let it be for this time frame 2, right? Now for example here what is the timer tower? Timer 60 seconds. Now it means that after receiving the frame at the receiver, let it be receiver is sending the acknowledgement back to the transmitter, right? So it is sending the acknowledgement from what? Frame 2. Now somehow this acknowledgement is lost in between your receiver, so the sender. Now the sender will wait for the infinite time period or only particular amount of the time period? Yes, the sender will wait for only 60 seconds of the time period. Once timer is completed, then what sender will assume that, so either it is receiving the acknowledgement or not, it assume that the frame is lost. So what I am going to do is, again I am going to activate the one more timer. So now see that which frame we need to send, frame 3 or frame 2. Try to understand and tell me the answer. Yes, so here it means that once timer is completed, so again what we have to do is we need to send the same frame 2 only. Now within the time period, if we get the acknowledgement back, then we can able to enable the one more timer so that we can able to send the next frame. This is the process of the stop and wait ARQ protocol. Now we will see that, so some of the operations or scenario of the stop and wait ARQ protocol in order to gain the proper knowledge for this protocol, right? So in first case, the acknowledgement is received before the timer expires. So it means that, so this is the starting time period, this is the ending time period. Within this time boundary I have sent the frame, within the time boundary I have received the acknowledgement. So this is successful. Now what I am going to do is I am going to set the one more timeout so that I am going to send the next frame, right? This is the process. Now what you will be having, let me consider one more case scenario, right? So next case is that if the original frame is lost, what is the meaning of this one is, first I have set the timer, right? So this is the timer duration. Now I have sent the frame from the transmitter to the receiver. Somehow the frame get lost from the in between sender to the receiver. Now see that what receiver will think that the transmitter does not send any frame, right? But what sender will think that, so I am waiting for the acknowledgement from the receiver. The moment if I get the acknowledgement from the receiver, so I can able to send the frame 2, right? So like that the both parties will think. Now here what will be happen, but the sender will not wait for the infinite of the time period to receive the acknowledgement from the receiver. It will wait for only some particular time period. Now see that 160 seconds is completed. So whether the frame is received, the acknowledgement is not getting, it won't bother. It simply consider that something is happened, so frame is lost. Even if it is reaches to the receiver also, the sender will assume that within the time boundary, if it is not getting the acknowledgement back, it assumes that the frame is lost. Now what sender will do is, again it will activate the one more timer. The same frame, whatever the frame it treated as the last, the same frame will be transmitted from the source to the destination. Suppose for example within time boundary we are getting the acknowledgement from the receiver, means in the next timer it is going to send the not this frame, it is going to send the new frame. This is the process. So see that the original frame is lost, what is happening, it is retransmitting the same frame one more time, right? So this point you have to understand. Now we will consider the one more scenario. Suppose there are two possibilities, right? The one possibility is that there may be loss of the data, and one more possibility is there may be loss of the acknowledgement, right? So here for example, here I have activated the timer, right? The duration of the timer is starting to ending is this one. So I have successfully sent the frame from the transmitter to the receiver. So if I want to send the one more frame, first I should get the acknowledgement, right? Now here in this case what is happening, suppose for example in this example the acknowledgement is lost. Now what it will do, it will wait for the 60 seconds. Even though frame is reached to the receiver, but sender will treat that something is happened, the frame is not reached to the receiver. Now what it will do sender, again it will send the same frame one more time, right? So when acknowledgement receiver also, when acknowledgement lost also, it is sending the same frame, nothing but the retransmission of the same frame. Even if data is lost also, it is retransmitting the same frame, right? So we will see that one more case we will consider. This is also one of the possibilities. For example, see that one more possibility is that delayed in acknowledgement. So what is the meaning of this one? If you understand here, this is something important. So here I have activated the timer, let it be 60 seconds or something. Now the frame is sent from the transmitter to the receiver. Now see that the frame is reached to the receiver and acknowledgement also received successfully. See that acknowledgement also received successfully. But see that what is the timer value? It is only 60 seconds, right? What is the meaning of this one? It will wait for only 60 seconds. Within 60 seconds, you need to get the acknowledgement back. If you are not getting the acknowledgement back within the timer period, then the same frame will be retransmitted back. Now see that, for example, suppose it is going to receive the acknowledgement at the 65 seconds. Now see that here the timer is expired, right? But when the acknowledgement received somewhere here, right? Now again what it is going to is, it is not going to consider this acknowledgement because the timer is expired. Now what sender will do is it will activate the one more timer, so that again it will transmit the same frame which we transmitted in the earlier, right? Now see that, now you tell me the answer what will, so now you tell me the answer what will be happen. Suppose for this timer is activated, now the frame is sent from the retransmission is happened, the acknowledgement also received. Now it is delayed acknowledgement or normal acknowledgement? It is delayed acknowledgement, right? Now in the next timer, which frame will be sent? The same retransmission will occur or new frame will be sent? What is the answer? The answer is that again same frame will send, because within the time period we are not getting the acknowledgement, means again we are sending the same frame one more time, right? Suppose for example you consider the one more scenario. So here we are, suppose let it be this is the starting timer, this is the ending timer. Now see that the frame is sent, then acknowledgement received within the timer period. Now tell me that again we are going to perform the retransmission operation, or we are sending the new frame at this point of the time period, third timer value. Yes, we are going to send the one more frame, right? So this is how the stop and wait ARQ protocol will vary from the stop and wait protocol, right? Now we will try to see the what is the limitation of the stop and wait ARQ protocol, then we will go with the next protocol. Now first major important problem is that here again we are not going to implement something called as the flow control. It means that even though if you have the capability of the sending the multiple frame at any point of the time period, we are going to send only one frame, right? So that is the major limitation of the stop and wait ARQ protocol, right? Then one more limitation is that poor utilization of the bandwidth. So if you observe here, so if the capacity is something 100 frames at a time, if you are sending only one frame at any point of the time period, it means that we are not utilizing the proper bandwidth operation. So this is the one of the limitation of the stop and wait ARQ protocol. In order to overcome this one, we have something called as the, what is the next protocol is the noiseless protocol, go back and automatic repeat request protocol. So how this stop and wait ARQ problem will be solved by the go back and ARQ protocol. Then what is the operation of go back and ARQ protocol, then what is the limitation, then how to avoid those limitations by using the next protocol, we will see in the next class. I hope you understand. Thank you very much guys.